Hello everyone, I am Kartika. Welcome back to Let's Learn. So if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel for more commerce video and don't forget to click the bell icon to get the latest notification. So in the previous videos, we have discussed about what is international finance and all about international finance. Okay, so today's topic is international monetary system. Okay, so in this video, we will be discussing what is international monetary system, evolution of international monetary system, then multilateral financial institution, then about IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, World Bank and institutions in World Bank Group, and also Asian Development Bank and International Trade Center. Okay, so these are the topics we are going to focus today. So let's start the video. So first we can see what is International Monetary System. Okay, so IMS is a system by which countries settle their debts with each other. Okay, so we all know that every country will be transferring fund from one country to another. So IMS is a system which helps countries to settle their debts with each other. Okay, so it also provides a mechanism for determining the relative value of different currencies. So IMS may be defined as the institutional framework within which international payments are made, movement of capital are accommodated, and also exchange rates among currencies are determined. So we can say there's three major functions of international monetary system. That is, it is an institutional framework within which international payments are made, movements of capital are accommodated, and exchange rates among the currencies are determined. Okay, so IMS is the set of rules, regulation, agreements, institution, mechanism and policies regarding exchange rate, international payment and flow of capital. Okay, so who is the controller of IMS? So the controller is IMF, that is International Monetary Fund. So the controller for IMS, that is International Monetary System, is International Monetary Fund. Okay, so the IMF is responsible for the creation and maintenance of International Monetary System. So I hope what is International Monetary System is clear to you all. It is a system by which countries settle their debts with each other. It is an institutional framework within which international payments are made, then movements of capital are accommodated, and also exchange rate among currencies are determined. Okay, now let's see the evolution of IMS. Okay, so how did the international monetary system came to existence? Okay, so IMS has went through several stages of evolution. So the first stage is bimetallism. Okay, so bimetallism is a period that is before 1875. Okay, so it refers to a period in monetary history during which two metals were used to determine the value of different currencies. Okay, mainly at that time, gold and silver were used to determine the value of currencies. Okay, so that time period is known as bimetallism. So bimetallism is a period before 1875 where people used to determine the value of currency using two metals. Okay, so mainly they use gold and silver. Okay, so after that period, during the period of 1880 to 1860 came the gold standard. Okay, as the name suggests, gold became the standard to determine the value of currency. Okay, so exchange rate of different countries were fixed and the parties or values were set in relation to gold. Okay, so gold served as a common base for the determination of individual currency value. So how does it calculated the value of currency? So one unit of its currency will be equal to a certain amount of gold, and by that comparison the value of currency is determined during the period 1880 to 1860. Okay, and that period is known as gold standard. Clear? So next came interwar period. Okay, interwar period was from 1940 to 1944. Okay, so the gold standard as an international monetary system lasted only for about 40 years. Okay, that is, most of the countries abandoned the gold standard in 1940 when the First World War broke out. Okay, So when the First World War broke out, countries like Great Britain, France, Germany, Russia all suspended the redemption of banknotes in gold and imposed embargoes on gold export. Okay, so they were not able to export gold to any country. Okay, that is Britain, France, Germany, Russia all abandoned the export of gold. Okay, so after the end of First World War, this gold standard again came back into force. Okay, so US restored it first in 1990, then UK, France, then other European countries followed it, and by 1928 every country started to restore this gold standard. Okay, so what happened was Britain experienced a massive outflow of gold, which resulted in chronic deficit in balance of payment of Britain. Okay, so what Britain did was during the period of 1931, the Britain government suspended gold payments and let the pound float. Okay, so what happened, I will explain it once more clearly. So what happened was during the period of 1940 when the World War broke, countries like Britain, France, Germany, Russia all suspended export of gold. Okay, so after the World War was over, the gold standard came back into force, and USA, UK, France, and other European countries started to use and restore this gold standard once again. So what happened was the Britain experienced a massive outflow of gold, and it created a massive deficit in the balance of payment. So what Britain did? Britain in September 1931 suspended all gold payment and only let pound payment. Okay, so countries such as Canada, Sweden, Austria, Japan followed the system, and they also suspended the gold payment and moved to pound float in 1931. Okay, so the United States also abandoned the gold standard in April 1933 after experiencing several bank failures and outflow of gold. Okay, so the paper standard came into being when the gold standard was abandoned. Okay, so by 1933 gold standard was abandoned by most of the countries. So thus came the concept of paper currencies. Okay, that period is known as Interwar Period, that is from 1940 to 1944. Is it clear? So now let's see the next period. Next period is known as BritainWoods System. Okay, so most of you have heard about this BritainWoods Conference. Okay, if you know about BritainWoods Conference, please comment it down. Okay, and you'll be getting a shout out for that. So BritainWoods system was during the period 1944 to 1972. So what happened during this period was there was a need for reconstruction of world monetary system. Okay, so thus in July 1944, the representative of 44 nations gathered at BritainWoods, New Hampshire, USA to discuss and design a new international monetary system. Okay, so in 1944, 44 nation representative of 44 nations gathered at BritainWoods, which is in USA, to discuss and design new international monetary system. Okay, so in the conference, the US and the Great Britain assumed the dominant roles, and the major objective of the conference were first one to review the existing rules, second to devise a system to encourage international monetary cooperation, and third one to establish an international institution to ensure good functioning of the system. Okay, these were the three main objectives of the BritainWoods Conference. Okay, so accordingly, two international institutions were created. What were those two international institutions? First one was IMF, second one was World Bank. So IMF and World Bank was thus created in BritainWoods Conference. Okay, and that is why they are called as BritainWoods twins. Okay, so I'll explain it once more. During the period of 1944 to 1972, there was a need for reconstruction of world monetary system, and in July 1944, representative of 44 nations gathered at BritainWoods, USA to discuss and design a new international monetary system. Okay, and after the main objective of the conference was first one to renew the existing rules, second to devise a system to encourage international monetary cooperation, Third one, to establish an international institution to ensure good functioning of the system. Okay, thus two international institutions were created. One was International Monetary Fund IMF, second was World Bank. Okay, so that is why these two are known as BritainWoods twins. Okay, so I hope it's clear to you till now. So the next stage was fixed exchange rate. Okay, this was a period from 1945 to 1973. Okay, it is a regime in which all member countries are required to maintain a fixed exchange rate for monetary discipline. Okay, so but most of the countries found it difficult to maintain a fixed exchange rate due to post-war condition existing in their countries. So the fixed exchange rate system collapsed in 1971 when the US government declared that its currency was no more convertible into gold and that its currency would float against other currencies. Okay, so during the period of 1945 and 1973, every member country of IMF and World Bank were requested to maintain a fixed exchange rate for a monetary discipline. But every country was just recovering from the World War, so they were not able to maintain a fixed exchange rate. Okay, so that fixed exchange rate system was collapsed in 1971 when US government declared that its currency was no more convertible into gold, but it will be going against other currencies. Okay, so that thus fixed exchange rate was collapsed. So the last stage of this international monetary system was floating exchange rate system. Okay, so floating exchange rate system exists since the collapse of fixed exchange rate regime till now. Okay, so till now floating exchange rate system is going on in all over the world. So under the system, the exchange rate are allowed to seek their own levels in foreign exchange market without government intervention. So here government will not be intervening on the fixed exchange rate. The exchange rate will be fixed upon in its own level according to the market condition. Okay, so however, to smoothen out exchange rate fluctuation, many countries' central banks have been intervening quite frequently. So, at some times, to make it into a smooth level or smooth transaction, some international banks will be intervening. So, that is why it is known as managed floating system or dirty float. Okay, so floating exchange rate system came into existence after the collapse of fixed exchange rate regime. So it was like the rates were allowed to seek on its own level and the government will not be intervening. But sometimes to make a smooth exchange rate fluctuation, central banks intervene in this market. So that is why the market is known as managed floating system or dirty float. Okay, is that clear? So we have discussed about 6 stages of evolution of IMS. First one is bimetallism where two metals were used to determine the value of currency. Second one was gold standard where gold was taken as a basis for determining the value of currency. Then third was interwar period when everyone started uh, pushing out gold standard and started to use paper standard, that is paper currencies. Then fourth was the Bretton Woods system when World Bank and IMF International Monetary Fund was established. Then came a fixed exchange rate and fixed exchange rate was collapsed during 1971 because most of the countries could not maintain a fixed exchange rate due to post-war conditions. Then from then till now floating exchange rate system is going on. Okay, so that is the evolution of monetary system, international monetary system in the world. So I hope it's clear to you all till now. Okay, so can we move on to the next topic? So before moving, please share this channel to all commerce students you know. Okay, and please don't forget to give your precious feedback under the comment section because it will motivate me to make more such videos and bring you quality contents. Okay, so don't forget to like, share and comment under this video after finishing this. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. So the next topic is multilateral financial institution. Okay, so now let's see what are the multilateral financial institutions. These are financial institutions created by a group of countries that provide finance and professional advice for the purpose of development. Okay, so it is like a group of countries who provide each other help with like financial help and also professional advice for the purpose of development. Okay, these are international organizations functioning for giving financial assistance for development, particularly of developing economies. Okay, they are mainly focusing on developing countries or developing economies. Okay, the important multilateral financial institutions include the following, that is World Bank, International Monetary Fund, IIFSCB, then EIB, that is Asian Development Bank, NDB, etc. Okay, so these all comes under this multilateral financial institution. So what is a multilateral financial institution? Multilateral financial institutions are financial institutions created by a group of countries that provide finance and professional advice for the purpose of development. Okay, so that topic is clear to you all? Yes, then now let's move on to the next topic, that is International Monetary Fund. So we have learned that International Monetary Fund came into existence through BritainWoods Conference. Okay, so International Monetary Fund was established in December 27, 1945. Okay, the BritainWoods Conference was held in 1944. Okay, so this International Monetary Fund came into existence in 1945. So there were 29 countries signed its Article of Agreement at BritainWoods Conference, and it commenced its operation from March 1, 1947. Even though it was established in 1945, it started its operation in 1947. Okay, it is a central institute for international monetary system, and IMF is an international organization that oversees the global financial system by observing exchange rate and balance of payment, and also offer financial and technical assistance. Okay, so International Monetary Fund is an overall financial system of the world who observe the exchange rate, balance of payment, and also offer financial as well as technical assistance to each of its member countries. Okay, so by 30 for 2007, Ecuador and Venezuela withdraw from IMF. Okay, so Venezuela and Ecuador was the members of IMF, but during the period of 2017, they both withdraw from IMF. Okay, so according to the latest thing, October 16, 2020, the IMF welcomed the Principality of Andorra as its 190th member. So now, currently, IMF have 190 members. Okay, so that's about IMF. So the next one is, let's see what are the objectives of IMF. Okay, so the first objective is to promote international monetary cooperation. Okay, so first objective of International Monetary Fund is to promote international monetary cooperation. Second one is to ensure stability in foreign exchange rate. Third one is to eliminate exchange control. Fourth, to establish a system of multilateral trade and payment system. Then next one is to help member nation to achieve a balanced economic growth. Okay, that is why IMF provide financial as well as technical assistance. So it helps the member nation to achieve a balanced economic growth, and also try to eliminate or reduce balance of payment disequilibrium. Okay, and also to promote investment in backward and underdeveloped countries. So IMF helps and promote investment in backward as well as underdeveloped countries. So these are the major objectives of IMF. Okay, so first one is to promote international monetary cooperation. Second, to ensure stability in foreign exchange rate. Third, to eliminate exchange controls. Fourth, to establish a multilateral trade and payment system. Fifth, to help member nation to achieve a balanced economic growth. Sixth, to eliminate and reduce balance of payment disequilibrium. Seven, to promote investment in backward and underdeveloped countries. So these are the major objectives of IMF. Okay, I hope it's clear to you all. If you have any doubt, please put it in the comment section below. Okay, so can we move on to the next topic? So the next topic is World Bank. Okay, so World Bank is also known as IBRD, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Okay, so the World Bank or International Bank for Reconstruction and Development was established in 1945, just as IMF. They were known as BritainWoods. Okay, so under the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. So it is a sister institution of International Monetary Fund. Okay, it can be a sister, or they are mostly known as the Bretton Woods twins. Okay, so the IBRD or the World Bank is an international government institution in corporate form. Okay, so IBRD is a global development cooperative owned by its 189 member countries. Okay, so in IMF we have 190 members, and in World Bank we have 189 members. Okay, so World Bank Group provides financing, technical assisting, political risk, insurance, and settlement of disputes to private enterprises, including financial institutions. These are the major functions of World Bank. Okay, and India is like third largest borrower of World Bank. Okay, India is a member of World Bank as well as IMF, and India is like third largest borrower from World Bank. Okay, so that's about World Bank. Now let's see what are the objectives of World Bank. Okay, so the World Bank Group is the world's largest source of development assistance. The aim of the bank is reconstruction and development of member countries. Okay, so let's see the objectives. First one is to promote balanced growth of international trade. Second, to help in reconstruction work in war-ravaged economies. Third, to develop resources and production capacity of the least developed countries. Then to facilitate international investment of capital in developing and developed countries. To focus on social development. To promote foreign investment in different countries. Then to raise productivity and standard of living of the people in the member countries, and to protect the environment. So these are the major objectives of World Bank. Okay. So next, let's see what are the major functions of World Bank. Okay, so the first function of World Bank is reconstruction and development of countries. Okay, so World Bank plays a very important role and helps countries, developing countries, for its reconstruction and for developing its economy. Okay, so second one is promotion of private foreign investment. Okay, so World Bank also promote the private foreign investment in developing and developed countries. Then comes promotion of international trade. So IBRD helps in promotion of international trade and also help in keeping a balanced equilibrium. Okay, balance of payment. Okay. So next one is arrangement of loans. So World Bank also help developing countries to develop the facilities, to reconstruct the facilities by providing loans to these countries. Okay, so these are the major functions of World Bank. So first one is reconstruction and development of countries. Second one is promotion of private investment. Third is promotion of international trade, and fourth is arrangement of loans. Okay, so World Bank helps financially and technically give assistance to these developing and developed countries. So the next topic is, let's see what are the difference between World Bank and IMF. Okay, let's see the difference between World Bank and IMF. So first difference is IMF supervises the international monetary system, whereas World Bank promote the economic development of poorer countries of the world. So World Bank focuses on poorer countries of the world, whereas IMF supervises the total international monetary system. Okay, that is IMS. We studied IMS. Okay, what is IMS? We studied. So IMF promote exchange stability and orderly exchange relation among its members. So IMF concentrated on transaction between and exchanges between countries, whereas the World Bank helps developing countries to long-term financing of development projects and programs. Okay. Then IMF help all members with balance of payment problem by providing short-term and medium-term credit. Okay, so IMF will be providing short-term and medium-term loans to countries who are facing with balance of payment problems. Okay, World Bank provides to the poorest developing countries special financial assistance through the IDA. So IDA is the institution under World Bank Group. So through IDA, this World Bank provide finance and special assistance to poorest developing countries. Okay. Then IMF supplement the foreign currency reserve of its members through allocation of SDR. And World Bank encourages private enterprises in developing countries through JFCs. Okay. Then IMF helps in financial resources come primarily from quota subscription of its member countries, whereas in World Bank, most of the financial resources come from borrowing on international bond market. Okay, so in IMF, the financial resources are from quota subscription of member countries, but World Bank raises fund for help to give as a borrowing to lend from international bond market. Okay, so these are the major difference between IMF and World Bank. Okay, is it clear to you all? Okay, and we now move on to the next topic. So then now let's see what are the institution in World Bank Group. Okay, I just told you IDA is one of the institution under World Bank Group. So there are mainly five institution in World Bank. Okay, first one is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD. Second is International Development Association, IDA. Third is International Finance Corporation, IFC. Then fourth is MIKA, that is Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. Fifth one is ICSID, that is International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. Okay, so there are five major institutions in World Bank Group. First one is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD. Second is International Development Association, IDA. Then comes IFC, that is International Finance Corporation. Then comes MIKA, that is Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. And fifth one is ICSID, that is International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute. Okay, so now let's see each one of them one by one. So we know about IBRD. So IBRD and World Bank is just the same. So IBRD was established in 1944 and is headquartered in Washington DC, United States. Okay. So this is the leading arm of World Bank Group, and IBRD offer loan to middle income developing countries, and IBRD is the first 5-member institution that compose the World Bank Group. So in the World Bank Group, IBRD is the first major institution. Second, we can see it was established in 1944 and is headquartered in Washington DC, United States. Third, it is the leading arm of the World Bank Group. And fourth, we can say that IBRD offer loans to middle income developing countries. Okay, so that is about IBRD. Okay. So now let's move on to the next institution is IDA, that is International Development Association. Okay, so International Development Association, IDA, was established in 24th September 1960 and it is also headquartered in Washington DC, US. Okay, so it offers concessional loans and grants to the world's poorest developing country. Okay, so as I said, as we discussed earlier, IBRD provides middle term loans to medium like developing countries, but this IDA focuses on poorest developing country and helps giving concessional loans and grants. Okay, so IDA aims to reduce poverty by providing loans, and these loans are known as credits. Okay, credits and grants for programs to boost economic growth, reduce inequality and improve people's living condition. So IDA has grown to include 173 member countries and has become a leading source of concessional lending to 74 of the world's poorest countries. So IDA is also known as a place for providing soft loan window. Okay, it is called a soft loan window because they are not charging a very high rate of interest, and they are providing concessional loans and also grant to the world's poorest country. And India is also a member of IDA. Okay, so it has IDA as 173 member countries. Okay, so that is about IDA. Now let's see the next institution. Oh, sorry. Before going into that, let's see the objectives of IDA. Okay, so the first objective is to provide development finance on easy and flexible terms to less developed member countries. Second, to provide assistance for poverty alleviation in poorest country. Third, to provide finance at a concessional interest rate in order to promote economic development, raise productivity and living standard in less developed nations. Fourth one, to provide long-term loans at zero interest rate to the poorest developing country. Okay, so they are providing zero interest rate loans to the poor countries, and they are giving like 30 to 40 years for repayment. Okay, so IDA is providing zero interest rate loans to the poor countries as well, poor developing countries, as well as they are giving like 30 to 40 years for repayment. Okay, so to next objective is to support efficient and effective programs to reduce poverty and improve the quality of life in its poor member country. Then next objective is to help build human capital, policies, institution and physical infrastructure needed to bring about equitable and sustainable growth. And next objective is to supplement the objective and activities of World Bank. So basically we can say the major objective of IDA is to finance and help the poor developing countries. Okay, as we can see, all these objectives are clearly based on this one note. Okay, that is to help the poor developing countries. Okay, so that's all about IDA. Now let's move on to the next one, that is IFC, International Finance Corporation. Okay, so international financial institution that offer investment, advisory and asset management services to encourage private sector development in less developed country is International Financial Corporation. Okay, so International Finance Corporation encourage private sector development in less developed country. Okay, so it was also founded in 20th July 1956 and headquartered in Washington, US. And the executive vice president and CEO of IFC is Magda Diop. Okay, so let's see its objectives. So it promotes private investment in developing country. It participates only in private sector ventures. It shares same risk as other investor. So we can say it is a profit oriented institution. Okay, and it does not accept any government guarantee. Okay, so these are some of the major characteristics of International Finance Corporation. Okay. So now let's see the major objective. As I said earlier, to invest in productive private enterprises in association with private investor, to act as a clearing house to bring together investment opportunities, private capital and experienced management. Third, to stimulate the international flow of private capital. Fourth, to encourage development of local capital market. Okay. So basically we can say International Finance Corporation is an institution which gives offer investment, advisory and asset management services to encourage private sector development in less developed countries. Okay, so now let's see the next fourth institution of World Bank Group. So that is MIKA, that is Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. Okay, so MIKA offers political risk insurance and credit enhancement guarantee, and it was founded in 1988, and the executive vice president is Hiroshi Matano. Okay, Hiroshi Matano is the vice president, and it is also headquartered in Washington, DC, US. Okay, and there are like 181 countries under MIKA. Okay, and India is also a member of MIKA. So it helps to promote foreign direct investment in developing countries by providing guarantee to the investors and lender. Okay, so this offer political risk insurance and credit enhancement guarantee. That is a major function of MIKA. Okay, so now let's see the last institution under World Bank Group, that is the International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute, that is ICSID. So one important point to note is that India is not a member of ICID. Okay, so World Bank Group has 5 institutions and India is member of 4 institutions, and India is not a member of ICSID. Okay, so the International Arbitration Institution established in 1966 for legal dispute resolution and conciliation between international investors and states. Okay, so ICSID provides for settlement of dispute by conciliation, arbitration or fact finding. So the ICSID, the main function is to, as its name suggests, to settle the investment dispute between investors and states. Okay, so the ICSID process is designed to take account of special characteristics of international investment dispute and the parties involved maintaining a careful balance between interest of the investors and host state. Okay, so they have to keep the interest of both investors as well as the country, and they have to resolve the dispute. So as I told you earlier, India is not a member of this institution. Okay, so we discussed the major only five institutions are there in World Bank Group. So five institutions in World Bank Group. First one is IBRD, second is IIDA, third is IFC, then fourth is MIKA, and India is member of all these four institutions. And last comes International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute, ICSID, and India is not a member of ICSID. Okay. So I hope it's clear to you till now, like we have just two more topics to go. So before going to the next topic, please do share and subscribe the channel. Okay. So yes, now let's see the next topic, that is Asian Development Bank. Okay. So Asian Development Bank, ADB, is a regional development bank established in 19 December 1966. Okay. Which is headquartered in Ortigas Center located in Philippines. Okay. So we can just say that it is a regional development bank which was established in 1966 and is headquartered in Philippines. Okay, so what are the major objectives of Asian Development Bank? First one is to reduce poverty. Second, to promote economic growth. Then supporting human development, improvising the status of women, protecting environment, and utilizing available resources. These were the major objectives of Asian Development Bank. Okay, so Asian Development Bank is a regional development bank. So first one is to reduce poverty. It helps in reducing the poverty of its member country. Second, it helps in promoting economic growth in this member country. Third, they support human development and also help in improving the status of women. Then also focuses on protecting the environment and utilizing available resources. Okay, that is Asian Development Bank helps countries to develop by using the available resources. Okay, effectively using the available resources and helping the countries to develop. That is the main function of Asian Development Bank. Okay, so the functions are listed here. So first one, it gave loans to developing members of the country. Second, it provides technical assistance. It provides and facilitate investment of public and private capital for development purpose. Fifth, help in coordination of developing policies and plans of member country. Utilizes available resources. That is a very important point. ADB helps in utilizing the available resources and developing the country. Okay. And it also cooperates with US and other international, regional and local organizations for mobilizing funds for financing development program. Okay. So basically we can say Asian Development Bank is a regional bank for which helps to develop the country. So they mainly help the countries to reduce their poverty, promote economic growth, support human development, improve the status of women in the country, then helps in protecting the country and also utilizing the available resources for developing the country. So this is about Asian Development Bank. Okay. So we are now to the last topic of this video, that is International Trade Center. Okay. So the International Trade Center is also a multilateral agency which has a joint mandate with World Trade Organization, that is WTO, and United Nations through the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Okay. So this International Trade Center is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. And ITC is the only development agency that's fully dedicated to supporting the internationalization of small and medium-sized enterprises. Okay, so International Trade Center is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, and it is the only development agency that is fully dedicated supporting the internationalization of small and medium-scale enterprises. Okay, so yes, that's it. So one more topic is left, so that is the objectives. Okay, now let's discuss the objectives of this International Trade Center. Okay, so the first objective is to build awareness and improve the availability of use of trade intelligence. Second, to strengthen the trade support institution. Third, to enhance policy for the benefit of exporting enterprises. Fourth, to build export capacity of enterprises to respond to the market opportunity. Fifth, to strengthen the integration of business sector for developing countries and economies in transition in the global economy. And last one, to improve the performance of trade and investment support institution for the benefit of small and medium enterprises. Okay, so we can say international trade center focuses mainly on internationalizing the small and medium sized enterprises. Okay, so yes, that's all for today. So we discussed a lot about international monetary system. We also discussed about IMF, World Bank, then World Bank Group, then about Asian Development Bank, then this International Trade Center. So I hope you all like the video. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up and also share this channel to all commerce students you know. And please give your precious feedback under the comment section. And also subscribe to Let's Learn if you have not yet subscribed, and click the bell icon to get the latest notification as I'm uploading a commerce video on a daily basis. Okay, so for more commerce video, keep watching Let's Learn. Thank you.